the night, the city lights are dancing, slowly falling apart. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling stronger, and I know I can do better. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the lights on. Open your eyes and see the people chanting.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the first Sunday night stream of the season. Tonight, we are going to have two matchups for you. One right now and one in 45 minutes time. I am Taco, as always. Producing this is Save Talk, and joining me is CarnageWolfBite. How are you doing tonight, Carnage?
Doing good. It's no longer Warrior Takeover because we rebranded. It's now the Inconvenient Takeover. So now you guys are gonna have to hear that all season long.
Well, I just realized you're GMing one of the one of the teams playing on stream today, so that'll be interesting. But as I was saying, the first matchup of tonight is going to be Contender, our second lowest tier, with the Whiff shots of the Inconveniences versus Sirens of the Mythical. We don't have any stats for you guys, but we do know who is on each team, as well as Mythical is subbing in Marina for tonight because they are missing a player. So that will be interesting to see how a sub can do on stream.
Oh, most definitely. Like I said, we've seen it so many times. Taco, the sub always comes in and does something amazing. Does it? Maybe not off the bat, but it usually happens pretty quickly. Like there's always that super sub buff, especially coming into a stream match. I like don't sleep on them today.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lots of good players on both teams. The man has a lot of experience in Contender. Has been in this tier for a while. Since I've been in Contender, he was the team that beat me in the playoffs. So I remember him and his teams very well. And then Inconveniences have a lot of solid players. Evil Superman was an AMI when I was an AMI, so another throwback name. But yeah, lots of cool players to see. We'll definitely see how they can do in a fun little 4-set match here. But again, as I was saying, we don't really have any statistics to go off of, so there's it's pretty open about what we're gonna see.
Yeah, it's gonna be wide open. Like I said, last season, look at stats gathered by K Flip. Shout out to K Flip. Sirens finished in 26-34, no playoffs, with shots who were formerly the Templars, 39 and 21. Lost in the first round. Both teams are not or this specific tier, because I know we got more teams and other tiers opening up. But it's going to come down to, like I say, it's going to have a lot of experience at play. You got the man that's going to definitely bring some hype to them, making sure they stay calm under pressure. And then, like I said, on the other side, Quavius is a returning player for the team who's going to try to keep our team for the Inconveniences nice and calm. So we'll see how this first game goes off. I expect Quavius and the man probably gonna have to do a lot of heavy lifting for the first game. And then after that, then every team should go back into their normal, play style.
Yeah, definitely. And I did just open up the standing sheet and just to check where each team is. And Sirens are currently first in the tier at 7-1, only one loss this season, so off to a really good start. Whiff shots are 4-4, so not too bad, hovering around 500, which is good to see early in the season. But without further ado, I'm going to tell the players they are good to join the match, and we are just about ready to go.
Oh, yeah, ready to go. Like I said, as much as a bias I want to be, I do see a 2-2 coming out just because, like, for the past couple of match days, I don't really had two, but the past couple of match days, top teams versus mid-table teams, the the skill level actually is not that far, so I can see a very good draw coming out. But like I said, that 7-1 isn't there for show, so it's gonna be a little bit more of an edge for the Sirens here coming in, knowing that they got a pretty good week coming in.
Yeah, definitely is. There's an early chance for the Sirens that they can't score off of, but maybe on the rebound it's saved away by Quavius in the nick of time. The man's going to come in and play it off the back wall. Mystic Max can't get it around Quavius. Reaper has to dive and gets a great clearance to clear it away. Marina tries to keep control, but Korrello's on the ball immediately. The man off his own back wall. But gets it around Quavius, trying to find his teammate. Mystic Max takes control, gets instantly challenged. This one's being really controlled in the midfield now. Both teams not willing to let it go into their own end. Watch the double commit, though. This could lead to something. Quavius coming in. The man gets team bumped off a pool team bump, I should say. Korrello coming in. And that one is just wide of the mark.
Just wide of the mark, and just to go into the minute mark, see both teams getting a lot of shots off on each other. Even if they're not on target, any shot near that post is very dangerous. Orange getting pressured here. Blue's going straight up in the air. We got one. Crow's pre-jump before tries to sneak a corner shot in. Orange is still scrambling, all sitting on the near post. It's going to be a drop down. Marina gets bumped out, but the clearance from the Sirens keeps them clean. Now they're going to get one lobbed up to the air. Missing match trying to get a Reaper defending. And it's something that you probably wouldn't normally see a lot of, Taco, but both teams always have at least one player like just on the backboard and not letting any double tap go in. So it looks like it's going to come down to more infield team plays, just like this one right here, but it's going to be directed away from Korrello. One more off the backboard. The man waiting for a mistake to come out. Both teams very patient as well, not going all in at the wrong time. So maybe I was a little bit wrong here. Everyone's playing like they're supposed to. No nerves out. We haven't seen a mistouch yet.
Well, it's going to be all down to Reaper, who takes over on this ball. Going to turn it over to Mystic Max, who looks for his own read off the sidewall, fakes it out for Marina, pops it to the backboard. Who's going to be next to it? Marina follows up and gets a bump. The man coming in, this one's going to come off the corner, over to Korrello. Mystic Max plays it, but this one's going to be awkward just to Quavius. Quavius might be able to be up for it. No, the man was ready for that one. Big demo comes in. The man is last back, gets the clear away. Now may be able to take control, try and find a pass to his teammate, bounces it over to Mystic Max. Reaper did not have enough boost to get a touch on it, and Mystic Max will punish it. The little bounce pass put Reaper in an awkward position, and a great shot from Mystic Max gives the Sirens the early lead.
Early lead, and the man being very patient now, actually braked on the wall. You don't usually see that from most players, even in high levels. They try to go fast, braked on the wall. That 1 second of just braking and waiting for him puts them in the lead 1-0. Actually, we just got a cycle to the other side. Kind of threw everybody off. Everybody had to turn around and try to find it. Only one player from the Sirens able to read it. The man needs to get a hand on this one. Gets enough, so Korrello has to go around him. Quave is going to pop it up again. There's a bump on Tim Marina. Marina can't do anything but watch it, but the ball harmlessly close to the midfield. Blue instantly going back on the attack again. A pop shot is actually going to win. I believe whoever was last back didn't have any boost. That's going to be the man. Mystic Max also couldn't get back, trying to hurry up and get 100. And that's the unrelenting pressure coming from the whiff shot, stealing those boosts and leaving quickly. And before they knew it, they were out. So just as fast as they gave one up, Orange now has to try to find it. Reaper's going to go for an early shot early, and then Marina gets a bump. Crave is thrown off their edge. Korrello's trying to get it away. Now it's a one-on-one. The man is dribbling Reaper down the field. And now they're going to get another shot on their own. Blocked away. Demos are coming through. Like I said, we don't have stat lines, but Taco, they're showing that both these teams might be a lot more physical than what some teams are actually like. And that's going to be a crazy redirect from Korrello coming from the blind spot.
Yeah, it's a great play. Quavius, a light touch over the man. Marina's last back, and Korrello in a perfect position. Marina gets a slight touch on it, but it's not enough as it goes into the net. Anyways, great play from the whiff shots there, finding the open gap in the defense. And really, that's all it's about in these low tiers, is recognizing where the gaps are in the defense. Where is the open space? Because if you can find that space, it's really difficult to deal with. This one's going to be popped maybe just all the way in. It's going to find the top part of the goal and go in, as Reaper, I thought, was just going to hit this towards the backboard, and maybe that was the intent, but it ends up just finding its way in anyways.
Find it anyways. And like I say, I thought it was going to be just a bang off the backboard, but just enough to get under it. And so far, Sirens are wobbling a little bit. Like, this is nothing to panic about. Like, they're 7-1 for a reason. But like I said, it's one of those weird things when both teams are aggressive on the demos. Somebody, gets put out of position just a little bit. And I think now they're trying to. Both teams are very conscious of trying to avoid it and just putting each other in trouble. Missing Max with a double. The man's going to have this one for free. And this is the team play we're talking about. Those backboards aren't going to work. We got to start using the lower board. And Missing Max beating not just one, but two players. And Quavius getting dusted by the man right down the middle. 3-2 at 51 seconds. This is more than enough time for a Sirens team that was looking for a resurgence after giving up 3 straight goals.
Yeah, this is going to be a difficult task for the Sirens, but now it's only a 1-goal game as Mystic Max pops it up. Who's going to be next to it? Quavius has more burst than Marina. Marina gets faked out entirely by it. Korrello tries to find a second touch. The man is backwards, gets a crucial touch on the backflip. Quavius and the man trying to make the save. Marina does get a touch on it to clear it away. This one looking into the midfield. Reaper up for the double tap. Can't find the angle. That one's off the mark. Korrello just got the mid boost. Now is getting hunted down for a bump or a demo. Korrello getting harassed. Marina gonna steal the corner boost. Try and look for a pass. Quavius clears it away. Reaper on it. Reaper gets a big touch. This one's gonna go into the net for the insurance goal. 4-2 win, and Whiff shots punish the third man positioning a lot this game and take 4 goals because of it.
4 goals because of it, but Taco, this wasn't no normal game. They play like they were playing like this was a game 7. They were going back and forth. No one really blinked. It really came all down to who executed their plays. And the whiff shots were really good on the counter. I believe that's why they got their 3rd and 4th goal. The first 2, they just held down on it. And then the Sirens, like I said, the team plays are coming in. So both teams, I'm pretty sure, understand what they're walking into here. And that's like that is the whose play style is a little bit better. We both demoed, but as you can see, the whiff shots are all about just relentless pressure and taking the boost, and the Sirens are all about looking for that space and just fitting it right in there. So, like I wouldn't be surprised if the Sirens just come out real early and get a quick goal just because they look really good at the end. You had to go all in. You can lose by 1 or lose by 100. At the end of the day, it's a loss. So they had to go all in just to try to tie it up there. So I think that's knowing the man. That's what he's saying. Like it was. It's just server down for me. For me, I don't know if they went down. I was trying to make sure that it wasn't just me. But yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, we're gonna do a lobby remake here, but yeah, going back to the man, I know he's probably telling, hey, let's just calm down. Like we're already losing, so that counter doesn't really hurt. It wasn't like it was an overtime. It wasn't like an overtime goal. So I do believe the man's experience and just talking to his team is gonna bring him back into this one. So I expect it to be same thing. I hope nobody just turtles up, but I expect it to be another high scoring affair.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's all about the sub of Marina. I think it's about getting them comfortable because a few of the times there was some awkward third man positioning, and if you just get, I feel like with the sub, especially at these lower tiers, getting them to attack the ball and play less third man is good for them because it allows them to rotate and and pressure the ball and not have to think as hard of like where is everyone else on my team. So if you're playing first man, pretty much your one goal is to force the ball or get the ball middle. So there's not too much to think about as first man other than how am I going to win this challenge. But yeah, so definitely going to be a difficult adjustment to make, but one that the Sirens are going to have to make and can make, given that they are 7-1 this season, make that 7-2 now. But they are certainly capable of doing so. They just have to show it on the day. And yeah, we are just about to get this lobby back up and going. But yeah, Carnage, what do you think that the Sirens can do to adjust?
I think the only thing they could do to adjust is just be a little bit more clinical. Like we saw, they had like 5 shots in rapid succession, but all of them were just right at a whiff, like right at the whiff shot players. Like there's someone kept hitting it right at them. So let's be a bit more clinical. You know, it's okay to hit the post, but when you're shooting it right at a player, listen, I don't know about you, but an easy save gives me some confidence to play a better defense. And I think that's just what happened when you keep hitting them in the face with the ball, and then eventually it's just gonna give them that momentum. So I'm just looking for Sirens to be a little bit more clinical here. Let's try to put it like towards a post because both their goals did come directly down the middle, shooting at the middle. So let's kind of inch it away from that. Because eventually, if you just keep shooting in the middle, they're just gonna pick that up. And then for the whiff shots, I just think they could be a little bit more clinical on defense. Like I said, those shots are coming right at them. They did double commit, and there was a very specific time where I just thought like, yeah, this game's gonna get out of hand really fast. But they ended up stabilizing. The both teams, it really is the Sirens being a lot better on their shots, and then and then for the whiff shots, just not panicking just because you see the man ripping 4 or 5 shots rapidly. Because I'm not gonna lie, the man was he'll take a shot. And I thought he would rotate. He just drifted straight back around his shot again at like the same power too. So like the experience coming into play, understanding like I just turn back and do it again until somebody breaks down here.
Yeah, and as you were saying about with our Sirens needing to be a little bit more clinical, Mystic Max had a really good play on the second goal that they had, which was a little too late in the game for my liking, but they had an opportunity to shoot, but instead they knew they had support and played it off the backboard, beating 2 defenders out. So knowing where your teammates are and where your support is can be really effective rather than just continuing to shoot down the middle of the net over and over and hoping that the defenders eventually miss. Because, well, this may be Contender, but it's not Amy, so there are capable defenders. Marina is taking on people and getting it over too. Can't beat the third. Mystic Max trying to find the angle with the side of his car. That's not able to go. Marina's shot towards the back post is powerful and past Korrello, who had snuck up just a little bit past back post. Not much, but this one perfectly slotted around him.
Just enough. Like I said, being clinical, shooting to the back post. Now that's gonna freeze the whiff shots there because now we gotta hold the back post and Magma can go forward. Gonna try to get there first, but Reaper not gonna let that one go on for free. Missing Max to the side. Quavius pop up the Reaper. This might be a back wall. Missing Max getting a touch on it, actually being disruptive on the play. There's the first boost still. There's a bump on Marina, but Marina's gonna go for the corner. Tries to get the 100 himself. Can't get the demo. Can't get it. Misses everything. And the man's trying to play a little fake on him. They got to be careful. Reaper has sniped him twice. They don't want to get caught again. Another boost still. Bump out on one. Missing Max catching on it. Can't go for the flick here. Can't quite get on the hood. The man going for the bump. Oh, gets bumped instead. And now both teams are getting really physical. It's something about that first goal. They just start getting even more physical. So maybe it's just one of those, like, now that they got the goal, let's get a little bit more physical. But the man can actually stop him. Quavius with a quick turn stops it. Marina, there's a miscommunication for Marina and Max. And Reaper's going to get a save here. Korrello's got to go up quick. Gets over the man. This man's got to be careful. Cannot lose his ball for free here. Picks up 100. Goes for the back wall. Can't get much of it. And so far, it's been all Sirens in terms of offensive approach.
Yeah, it's been all Sirens so far, and they're continuing to put on the pressure. The man finds the backboard, but not much else. Marina dives in as last man and gets it around one. Quavius is stuck really awkward. Great back pass there to Mystic Max. Not able to find the touch. Mystic trying to get involved in the play. The man does not want to leave rotation. This is getting really awkward. They've overcommitted. Everyone was involved in the corner. Someone had to rotate out. No one did, and the third man rushed in anyways. And that is not what you want to see if you're a Sirens fan. As again, it was just, there's no need to get involved in the corner that much. The ball is relatively safe in either corner. And that time, just too many cars in the same area. It squirts out middle, and there's no one back to stop it.
Yeah, no one back out to stop it. As most high players would say, when you get a lot of pressure, that tends to actually happen. You want to keep them like locked in that half, and then that's when you get that crowded up. And Quavius, if Mystic even realized that Quavius wasn't going to be able to touch it, that was going to be an open shot there. Reaper just trying to keep him awkward, keep it to the side. And so far, both teams are actually pretty smart. It's going to be a bounce shot. It's going to catch him off guard, but Reaper smacks it right off the post. Another shot. The man double tapped it, tries to click for the boost spawn. The boost won't spawn for at least another 5 seconds. Ball's hit out. Here comes Marina. Don't want that person firing another one, but it's going to get one. But this one's going to go high. And Marina is so used to having Reaper waiting for it. This time does it. Missing match going back at him. Here goes the Sirens going back to work. Not trying to let him get out. That's a double commit. This is what got him in trouble the last time. Korrello is going to try to control it. Gets around one. Bump for his efforts. Marina shot on target. Almost those QuaviusProd off the man. Got another shot. Korrello right at him. And this is just a full frontal assault from the Sirens.
Yeah, Sirens are putting on the shots, but some crucial double commits in big moments that are kind of unforced. Mystic Max towards the back post. It's an own goal. Korrello just kind of lazily went through back post into front post. Unfortunately, his car was pointed slightly on the wrong side of the ball, and it forces its way into the net. The Sirens have to be thanking their lucky stars for that one, as it felt like there was a wall on the net. But finally, the one that does go in just may have looked a little goofy, but it was the result of some built-up pressure over the last few minutes. And eventually, they break the seal on the goal, and now they may be looking to snowball off of it. Find another one. The man's shot is directly down the middle, right past the back post defender. And a beautiful shot there past Reaper, who was waiting for a touch more towards the back post and could not get it.
Yeah, and that was what we were talking about, is the overwhelming shots coming out. They're being a little bit more clinical, and we can see that is what's swinging in their favor. And Korrello completely going right through Max. Reaper gets beat as well. Reaper's got to get all the way back here. Marina double down. Here comes the man. Tried to put it to that corner. Almost beats him. Korrello gets a touch around, but missing Max won't let him out. Sirens again going back to work, looking to hit him hard. QuaviusProd saved it. Reaper's going to bang one. The man's got to make a safe touch here. Does it right back in the middle. Korrello's going to have a shot here. Off target. And the Sirens might want to be careful. You can only bang that ball back in the middle so many times before someone lasers you here. But so far, they're going to get a dunk. Reaper, outfield pass. Korrello's not going to be there, so Reaper's got to keep it all the way there. Quavius might want to go for a pop here. Going to put them all the way under pressure. Missing Max. Nice tap to the man. The man's going to get there. Even though Korrello's in the corner, they can't do any damage here. And so far, the Sirens could just kind of cruise here. Now, that's what got them in trouble when they gave up the first goal. They started overcommitting, but now, like, they're starting to calm down here. They understand they're up 2. They don't have to go full in, but it does look well if you keep hitting on that team and get another goal. But with this game slowly closing out, once we see something crazy go on, this is probably the Sirens that was at 7-1, currently 7-2. But Korrello instant shot might have caught them off a rotation. The man goes towards the near post, and the back post player a little bit off their line. So thinking the game was going to be closed 7 seconds. Do we see a trick kickoff here?
Yeah, we're going to need a kickoff here. It might be Quavius, but no, Marina instantly sends it at the ball. This one's going to bounce. Korrello pops it up. This is going to be a difficult read for Quavius. The man on it. This one's going to bounce and hit the ground. Sirens will even up the series. And a much-needed game win for them to come back, reset the mental. And Sirens are going to request a server change and make a sub. So we'll see how that is going to affect the series.
Let's see how it's going to affect the series. And honestly, looking at the stat lines, Taco, both teams are actually well in control of the ball. Usually have somebody that doesn't have a lot of touches. Like Korrello only has 29, but it wasn't like he was just banging the ball. They're dribbling the ball out. And like I said, that's the evolution of Contender. You can look back probably 2 years ago and it's just bang the ball and catch them. But now it's catch the ball, flick it, as you saw from the man, patience off the backboard, shoot it in the middle. These players are seeing it in a different view. Now the only thing that we're looking for is who's going to break the deadlock, because whoever gets this one is actually just probably going to surge their way into a possible 3-1. But that Sirens team, that's the Sirens team that we were expecting to come out in that first game. But the second game, like they're just clinical on all cylinders. One mistake, and then the second goal that was actually just very smart from the whiff shots to understand that they don't have a lot of time and take a quick shot. So outside of that, the Sirens honestly have been playing their best game in that game too. But now, can they just keep that momentum going?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Sirens can keep the momentum going, as it looks like Marina is going to be done, at least for this game, and Net Oven is going to come in for Sirens. So one of their rostered players might have just became available, but Sirens will look to take the series. They can certainly win two from here. They definitely had some great moments. As you said, the control, the big factor that might separate these teams, as you were saying, the man taking his time, making some great 50s intelligent plays. Mystic Max had some really good touches and ideas, ones to corners to buy time for his teammates and allow them to make plays instead of just trying to bang the ball at the net 100% of the time. You can do a lot more. This one's towards the backboard. Net Oven takes it away from the man for some reason. Decided to stay on the ball. Net Oven now trying to stay completely on the ball, making people miss,
Ooh.
getting it past three people, but the man a little bit too far out. The man trying to find it. Korrello just took his time, waited, pass back post. Reaper, Mystic Max makes the save, diving across his own net. And now, awkwardly, on the sidewall, right into the man. A perfect 100 boost spawn for Mystic Max, but he can't start it into an air dribble. The touch just got away from him. Reaper plays it down, can't get the double. This one's floating in midfield. The man fakes it for Mystic Max. Max over to the corner. Quavius will take control, but it's challenged by Net Oven. Mystic Max pops it in the air, hanging in the balance. Net Oven towards the backboard. The man towards the middle of the net. Who's following up? No one. Korrello, the man. It's been in this blue half for what feels like forever. The shot just wide. Net Oven can't get there in time. It's cleared away.
Finally cleared away, and now they're going to get a counter. Miss is got to be very careful. All three blue players are probing, waiting for a mistouch. We got a demo on the back end. Not a lot of power. Now both orange players are in the same half. The man getting around it, perfect touches, one-on-one with Korrello for now. Korrello doesn't want the boost. He takes the ball instead. The man takes the ball, but now it's going to be mismatch, just trying to mind game him here. So far, both teams are playing very calm, very strategic here. Net Oven probably came out with a different type of. It's going to take both players to save this one. They came out with a lot of fire, which I think threw both teams off just for a little bit, but now they're both understanding it. Pitch across the net. We got a pre-jump. No. Korrello couldn't get there in time, but had the right vision to see it. And so far, the man just trying to hold on to it, trying to make sure his players can get boosts, because he was the only one with more than at least 60 at the time. Mystic Max finally gets when Korrello gets popped over. The man, this is where he likes to light him up, but can't get there. No boost. Net Oven try to pre-jump, dribble around one. It's gonna be a one-on-one. We got a demo play going in. It's gonna be an open net, but he can't get to it. Trying to get there. I think the bump might have threw him off because they're looking to go sidewall double. Oh my goodness, a double tap. And Taco, we're starting to see these contenders try to go for air dribble, double taps, and just everything of the sorts. But so far, the Sirens are about to start feeling some pressure here if they can't get out. Quavius chips it around one. Korrello dodges it, puts Net Oven in a bad position here. It's flicked across the net. The man can't see it. Here comes Korrello. Gets it away. Boost still coming out from one side. Korrello couldn't get the other. So far, Orange is holding on to enough boost to keep it. The man being calm. This is an open shot. If he beats Korrello, Korrello gets bumped out of the way. Quavius trying to hold on to it. Tries to poke it away. This is where Mr. Max is going to look for the demo. Can't get it. free hit. Net's got to be very cautious here. Touch to his corner. Might try to bang it. Does so. Goes for a double. Gets that as well. Korrello, 0 boost and a dream. 12 with the small pad. Gets a 50 across. But the man's going to be open. Denied by Reaper. And now we're starting to see counterattack after counterattack. A bump away. Weirshot's getting a lot more aggressive. That was a double commit. Can Quavius get the right touch to his ball? Gonna be a tap, and it is a free 99. And again, we see the Sirens. I understand we got a lot of pressure, but then they crumble because they both believe that this is the time to strike, and the second and third man end up making a fatal mistake there.
Yeah, and it was all because of that drop down from Reaper, who was looking to find Quavius on the outlet pass. It was just too juicy for the Sirens to deny. They both looked at it and both went for the ball. And someone has to calm that they have it. And there's another double commit coming in from Sirens. It's gonna leave the net open.
And Reaper's gotta go take it.
And Reaper gets the goal steal, but someone has to stop these double commits on the Sirens end. They are getting repeatedly punished for it, and whiff shots are starting to come into their momentum now.
And Reaper just letting Korrello know that that's their shot, but it's just one of those things. And I always say, and I don't call it the #1 seed curse. I just call it most of your top 4 teams are always really fast. So when a team's really patient, they don't really care about speed. That's what happens. The double commit comes out because you're like, oh, they don't want to go for it. But the second they decide they want to go for it, almost a shot pops off by missing match. And there's another free one, but this time they just can't get it on target. But yeah, they overcommit just because the other team just doesn't feel like running down the field. But when they decide to, they catch them, and it's one of those mechanics over brains where like what's better. It's gonna be a bump, but that one, oh, Quavius almost goes into it. The man's gonna have it for free, and that comes from a Sirens all-out attack. We had a bump on the back end. The shot right there. There goes Net up and getting another bump. And now the Sirens are finding their groove. But here's the thing: you're down 1, but you don't want to overcommit. It's not time. You only do that at like 10 seconds left. You got enough time to look at a lot of pressure here and just hold them down. But in this situation, you don't want to do another double commit because then you start to second guess yourself going into that 4th game.
Yeah, there is going to be chances here. That one almost deflects into their own net. Reaper got very lucky that that one just hit the crossbar. The man pops it up. Who's first to it? Reaper should have space to hit it. It's just gonna go as far as Net Oven though. Mystic Max and the man both died for it. Net Oven pops it up in the air. Korrello can't read the backboard. Touch the man! Hit it on the goal line. It bounces with 80% of the ball in the net. It hits ground on 0 seconds, and the Sirens cannot get the crucial goal at the end. Whiff shots survive.
Survived by the skin of their teeth, and I believe it's either Korrello or Reaper. Somebody got their spoiler on it at the line. That's what killed the ball because it was actually going straight into the net. And so that one, it doesn't register as a save, but that was a save from the game. It was on target. I think I'm looking back at it on Korrello actually got a piece of it, and then Reaper also got it. So team effort to make sure that doesn't go in the back of your net. Because if the Sirens score that one, well, Taco, I'm going to be honest, they score that one, the Sirens have no choice but to win that game. Because usually 0-second goals always go into that team's favor. But going into the next game, and we already hit on it, the Sirens have to just be calm. You have all the pressure in the world. You don't have to double commit, especially if you're up 1-0 or it's tied. Because we've seen it. Eventually, the whiff shots will make that mistake, whether they have boost or they just over-rotating just to compensate for something. So the Sirens just got to play calm on that offense approach because I'm loving their offense. Like, as much as my team is playing against them, I'm loving the Sirens offense. And honestly, they could definitely win it all if they could just clean up those double commits there.
Yeah, definitely. And they have brought some physicality. That second goal they had, where one of the players on wish shots was completely not expecting a bump at all, and caught them by surprise on the back post. And it caused the last defender to completely freak out because they were not expecting to have to be brought into the play entirely. And it led to a goal. Net Oven's going to cut their rotation, try and get a 50. He does so well. but the man is a little too far away to get into the play. Finally, Will gets it. Korrello, smart pop. Around one. Met Oven gets a touch, but it's only as far as the middle of the field directly for a free shot for Quavius.
It's a free shot, and it comes from that. Again, it happened so long ago, most people wouldn't recognize it, but around about 4:30, 4:35, there's a double commit from the Sirens, which slowed the man down. Like you say, he couldn't get into that play, and eventually it comes back to bite him. So again, a double commit, even though it's long, the time goes a pinch from Korrello, but it just comes back to get him. And now Blue's feeling a lot of pressure here. They're gonna get a shot. Here comes a second one. This one's saved by Mystic Max. And I love Mystic Max on that one. He was actually driving forward and decided to break and just call the bluff. And the bluff was called indefinitely here. But now they got to get out of their half. They're getting hammered themselves. There's another one. Free shot from Korrello. Top bends right under that crossbar. And the Sirens get a little bit of taste of their own medicine here, especially, like I said, not being able to secure your boost or not being able to secure the middle. And now you're getting hit.
Yeah, whiff shots are putting on a clinic. And it's again the Sirens getting bit by the impatience. Because it was 2 dives across as they thought they were trying to cover a shot angle. But instead it was a pass both times. And it just takes 2 players completely out of the play that left the net entirely open for a easy shot. Korrello puts away every time. The man is going to look to get a huge 50. All the way down the field. Incredibly powerful. The man sees Korrello's positioning, just drives into it, and that one is flipped well over his head.
60 miles per hour in your own net, and you buy yourself not just a little bit of time, a lot of time this time. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Like I said, net's got to get off the backboard a little bit quicker than that. Reaper's going to get one for free, try to put it up. Quavius can't put a shot on target. Korrello not allowing them out. Seeing that whiff shots are starting to slowly inch up and try to get more. Korrello's trying to sweep net. Here comes Quavius, a drop down pass, and that comes from Korrello just driving across the net. I don't think he hit anybody, but he's being a nuisance. Yeah, there it is. Mystic had to hit a break check, and they both have to go up because they understand that Quavius is already up. And somehow, it's almost like a complete copycat because that's exactly how the Sirens play when they're on top of them. And whiff shots are just now dishing it back. And now there's going to be a free. Mystic Max got to get a 50. Almost another one straight to their net. And the Sirens are doing really good at those 50s. But if they could just follow up a little bit quicker, Quavius wants to tip it to the middle. Here comes Reaper quickly shooting. And now with his range, it pours. And they're hitting him fast and hitting him hard here.
Yeah, great pass. Quavius and Reaper, they are putting on a clinic so fast in rotation. The second man always in position for this shot. And these passes are being placed perfectly middle for a shootable angle. Quavius, this time delivering the pass. Last time was the recipient. But either way, is this time, it gets a little bit awkward in the corner. No one can get a touch after Mystic Max gets the touch. Korrello can't read the touch off the post. And they just completely ignore it. Net Oven does and drives through the net, gets the goal. And this one is not over yet. 2:45 on the clock, but Quavius is looking to seal it, trying for the double touch. The angle almost non-existent. The man, huge dunk. Quavius, can he get a touch? He does to the backboard. Great play from Quavius. Quavius all over the ball. This one's towards the backboard again. Reaper has to turn around and gets the touch out.
Gets the touch out, and honestly, that's a really great save, not just for Quavius, but like, again, and the contenders, like I said, they're just evolving. That save was actually pretty good. A lot of people, even in higher tiers, might accidentally just like put that off the backboard back to an orange player, but it was enough of an angle to where orange had to just think about it before going. But now the Sirens back to work. They're getting everybody in. That's a commit from the third man, but that's okay. 2 people rotating back. The man just destroying people on these 50s, and Mystic Max dusting one. Trying to get there on 0 boost, looking for the flick. Trying to go all in. Net trying to help, knowing that there was 0 boost. They got to be careful. This counter could go in fast. Reaper just needs one pop-up. That's the pop. Here goes the man. Saves it away. Korrello needs to corral it here. Keeps it close, but that's going to pop out right to Net Oven. But Net Oven's going to wait to see what happens. Mystic Max gets dunked into oblivion here. And the Sirens have to get back on the other side. They don't have to score yet, but they need to put the pressure back on the whiff shots and force something out of them. And this is what we're looking for. Infield pass. 1, 2. The man needs to get there.
Oh
There's
my
a save
God.
from a backflip Korrello. A second save from Reaper. It doesn't register. Quick counter here. Can't get to the ball. And that's 2 saves that they went, that that the whiff shots were backwards and had to make a save on. If you make them miss that, it's 4-4. But right now, those saves are 4-2, and now they're just trying to hold in. Another infield pass. It's going to be a shot for a corner, and that was an amazing pass on 0 boost. And we're just seeing both teams coming out firing with those central passes. We said they needed a little bit more infield passing, and both teams are doing that. But so far, whiff shots are just a little bit more clinical, a little bit more sound when looking for it.
Yeah, take a bow, Korrello. That's an unbelievable save going backwards into his own net, and then on the other end gets the goal, perfectly slotted in the corner. And now Quavius takes control. Korrello follows up. Mystic Max, not a lot of boost, getting challenged. Reaper's up for the shot. Uh-oh, be careful of the overcommit. There's no third man, but Netovin gets insta-challenged. Quavius read that Netovin was trying to take time there and punishes it immediately. Mystic Max gets a favorable 50. Bouncing in the middle. Quavius should be back. Is there in time. Quavius off his own back wall. Gets a 50. Mystic Max up in the air. The man. Angle. Reaper saved away. 14 seconds. Time ticking down. Mystic Max. They gotta get it here. Netovin gets shut down by Korrello. Quavius comes across. Time is too much. Too little too late. Whiff shots take the series and go to win 3-1.
The whiff shots looking clinical in that series. Like I said, in all these tiers, a team that's even with their record is just as close. They're closer to the top than they are to the bottom. That's just how I like to look at it. But like I said, the Sirens, the scoreline does not say a lot for the Sirens. They really had a lot of pressure for all 4 games. Well, the 4th game, whiff shots had a little bit more, but those first 3 games, they truly look like the #1 team. But like I said, can't count out other contender teams, but these 2 teams are already making a statement that, hey, be careful because you give us an inch, we're gonna take a mile, and we just might see each other in the finals again on stream.
Yeah, there is a lot to be proud of for the Whiff shots, the way they played tonight versus the #1 team coming into today. They certainly showed they are capable of beating pretty much anyone in contender, and they had some great goals, some great saves, great team plays and defense, and they come out on top. But Carnage, who do you think is the MVP of the series? For me, it could be anyone. They all had a fantastic game.
Honestly, it could be anyone, but I'm gonna go off of just game 1. I gotta have to say Reaper, just because those 2 goals propel them into that winning game 1. Like I say, you win 1 game versus #1 team, you get a lot more confidence behind that one. So I'm just gonna lean on Reaper here. I mean, they did steal Korrello's 1 goal in that other game, but other than that, it was a lot of work from Reaper, especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, Reaper definitely was a factor on the defense for them, and as you said in game 1 was huge. So yeah, I'll agree with Reaper, but yeah, again, it could go to anyone on the whiff shots entirely. What a fantastic game for them! A huge series win versus the #1 seed after they were treading water. Again, it was only 1 week, but 500. This one will propel them into the playoff picture. So certainly something to look forward to.
Starting to look forward to. Don't think. I think we have an interviewer that, or they're just what is it? Like attenders are like children, so they run around a lot. But but like yeah, it's one of those series that honestly I could watch a game 7. I could watch them play pretty much all day if that's how they're gonna play the entire time. Because it was just fast paced and it was never just like a boom ball type scenario. It was just going back and forth. Actual infield passes, actually working the ball around. But yeah, we got QuaviusProd sitting in the waiting room. So we're gonna go ahead and pull him in, get him a quick interview because I know it's a Sunday night. Probably wants to go to sleep a little early now. Quavius, what is up, my eye?
Hello, hello.
So I'll go ahead and kick off the interview. How are you guys feeling? Like the calm wise, because we were like me and Taco were watching. You guys were just getting hammered repeatedly. Like calm wise, how did you guys stay sound on defense?
Oh man, comms were definitely a 10. We were very communicative with each other, and as you can see, it worked out pretty well. I was very proud of the guys. Shout out Korrello, and shout out Reaper.
Yeah,
Shout out Evil too.
Yeah, you guys played brilliantly, especially on defense and transitioning that into some counterattacks and goals. How are you able to deal with the pressure of Sirens, which seemed to kind of come and go, but at times was relentless? You were able to stay strong in defense, and how are you able to do that?
It's a great question. So when they were like heavily pressuring, we were just like kind of laughing and kind of just keeping it calm and having a sort of joyous time with the pressure, and we got out of it a bunch of the times. Not all the time, but we managed it pretty well. Just kind of keeping calm and keeping a happier sort of vibe and keeping relaxed, I would say.
All right, sounds good. I'm gonna ask you a question. I know it's early in the season, so it might be a little bit harder for you to answer this. But I know you just played the Sirens. Who do you think is gonna be a huge obstacle for you guys going forward into the season when you have to play them?
Man, I'm trying to think of what the Safari's contender team name is off the top of my head. I think they're the hip. Yeah, the Zorillas. They're super solid. We scrimmed them, and we I wouldn't say we struggle, but they definitely get us a few times here and there whenever we scrim them. So I think they're gotta watch out for them. I think they're a sleeper team. They'll be pretty good moving forward in the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams are going to be looking out for you you guys after tonight, because this was a pretty impressive performance, regardless. One last question. They made a sub, or they had a sub for the first two games, and then the last two games they brought back in one of their rostered players. How was the adjustment of dealing with a sub versus the last two games when they had Nut Oven in?
Yeah, we dropped I think we dropped when they brought the sub in. We dropped the second game, I believe, and we kind of just locked back in, kept comms up, kept doing what we usually do, and adjusted from there. Comms are really good. Comms definitely played a big factor in this series against the Sirens.
Yeah, I'm sure comms, especially when it can be chaotic, are huge for keeping everyone calm and locked in for defense and offense and getting people to not double commit as much. But congrats on the victory. Carnage, you got anything else?
No, like I said, I pretty much answered my question. Like I said, looking out for the Safari's contender team. It looks like contender's going to shape up to be a pretty strong and get going type of tier. So, but no, I'm gonna let Quavius go ahead and head out. Like I said, got his match out of the way. Nerves are probably calming down now that now that the series is over. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
for
gonna
sure.
get out of there.
Yeah, shout out you, Carnage. Shout out you.
Hey, thank you.
Well, with that being said, we are done for the contender tier, and for this first matchup, we are going to take a short break, and after this, we will have the amateur series, which is Garlic Knots versus HR Violation. So two top teams in amateur coming up right after this.
Man, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.